everyone, it's Elizabeth from Fern Creek Stickers, and I am planning out the week of October 2nd. So here you can see how the previous week turned out. I didn't have a video for that week. So I'm going to get started. I'm doing this week again as a voiceover because I was sick and I did not have the ability to talk for long enough to do a plan with me without having to stop and blow my nose or cough. So I figured it was better to record it and then record the voiceover once I was feeling a little bit better, which at this point I am mostly feeling better. So once again, I start this week by talking about our various ailments, but fortunately my mother-in-law is amazing. Daniel had ended up having all of last week off of daycare. He was at home with hand, foot, and mouth. Fortunately, he had a mild case. He was in great spirits, but obviously very contagious, so he couldn't go to daycare. And my mother-in-law came for most of the week to help us so that Brian and I could both work. So that was amazing. And then Brian and I both have sort of ongoing colds. So we all felt kind of lousy, but it was really good to have my mother-in-law to help us. And especially since we were feeling sick, it was really nice. Like when I came home from work, she would be like, go take a nap. So that was great. She was taking care of all of us. In happier news, I have started to get in some of the items that are being made out of house for the advent calendar, and I am so excited. I've got a number of new things that I've never offered before, and I love how they turned out. So it's really fun to open those boxes and see what's inside, but so hard to wait to show everybody what is in them. Going back to the plans right here, just to kind of catch you up. So I'm doing the same thing that I did before. And wait, now that I'm thinking about it, did I have a plan with me for the previous week? I don't remember. This is, my brain is slightly mushified right now. But anyway, I'm doing the same thing that I've been doing where I try to divide things up a little bit and have it divided into sections. Yeah, and you'll see me flipping back and forth a little bit to remember how I'd done it the week before. But this worked really well and helped to make it a little bit less redundant with the daily pages, but still giving me a good reference that I could turn to when I was planning out my days. So I really liked how this turned out. I also think this is a really fun kit, and this has been a pretty popular kit. It's really different than anything I've done before with this kind of doodly artwork, but I really like these muted colors for fall. I like the little doodles, the pumpkins, the coffee, the leaves, the florals. It's really fun. So this was a fun week to look at in my planner. So anyway, I started getting items for the advent calendar. They look great, and I feel so good. We are like ahead of schedule on the advent calendar this year. The past 2 years, it's been a little bit of a hot mess. Last year especially, I was really lucky that I did not have my baby until past my due date because I was definitely pushing it a little bit with my to-do list and what I was hoping to get done. If Daniel had come early, there would have been a lot of things that would have just slid. Obviously, he would have been more important, but I was definitely not on top of the advent calendar as I should have been last year, given that I was about to have a baby. But this year we are on top of things. So Brian helps a lot with stuffing the envelopes, so I get things all prepped for him. But one thing that takes a little bit of extra time is I want to make things like I want to be sure that everybody has everything and everything is like super checked. So I quality check and count things twice, and then I count the envelopes twice because that way we know if we get to the end of the envelopes and like have an extra sheet or a shorter sheet, we know that we're missing one from the envelope. So we make sure we have the right number of sheets and the right number of envelopes and that those are double counted to be sure, and that gives us an extra check. And so far the last 2 years, nobody has had anything missing from their envelopes. Last year there was one person who was missing an envelope, and that was we finished making all the advent calendars and we had that one sad lonely envelope left over, but we had been boxing them up as we went and actually had shipped them out in batches, so there was no way to know. So that is a live and learn for this year. We are going to get them all, do like the first round of packing them up, get them all bagged up before we put them in the boxes so that if there are any envelopes left at the end, we can figure out where they go. So, so I'm planning here again. I've got my full boxes in the middle and I'm putting my schedule for the day at the top. And then below that, putting social media, dinner, and chores that I'm going to do around the house. So this works really well, and putting in doodles as I think about it. Some other things that have been going on here. One thing, I had a little bit of extra time and I worked on cleaning up my office a little bit, and I have some stuff that has been sitting in my office forever, and some of it is so stupid. I had pajamas that I got in November, and I wanted to I'm a little bit of a bustier gal, and so a lot of times I need to, or like I have a small frame, but I'm busty, so the size that like fits me overall, sometimes I need to sew some snaps in between button-up shirts. I tend to avoid button-up shirts, but when I get them, I need to sew some snaps in. And I had gotten some pajamas, and they needed some snaps in the front, and hand sewing snaps is not the most fun. And I'd gotten several pairs of pajamas because I was like, oh, these are going to be perfect for wearing when I'm postpartum and around the house. So I'd been sewing snaps into a bunch of different pairs of pajamas, and I just like gave up. So I'd had this pajama shirt with one side of the snap sewn in since November, and it had just been sitting on my desk and was really bothering me. So I was like, okay, how long is this going to take? It's going to take like less than 5 minutes to sew this snap in. I sewed it in, and then I was trying to see if I needed more snaps. I tried it on, and of course, like being postpartum and everything, my body shape has changed so much. At this point, I can wear the pajamas without snaps. I don't need the snaps because my bust is not as big as it was when I was pregnant. So that was kind of funny, but I'm so glad to have that pajama shirt off my desk. And now that it's cooling down, I can actually wear it. So it's washed and ready to wear. So I've been working on getting my office cleaned up some, which feels really good, getting those things out of the way that have been sitting for a long time. But the big project I have in my office that I have not gotten around to is cleaning out my office closet, which has just gotten a little bit worse over time. So that is a project that I have coming up that I need to do and will feel much better when my office closet gets cleaned out. The other thing that is really exciting is I've talked before about how Daniel has some food intolerances, and because I'm breastfeeding, that affects my diet. And so we are, his GI said at 9 months, we could start trying to reintroduce some foods. So we've been working on that, and we tried wheat last week and we passed wheat, so wheat does not bother him, and that is great news because that opens up a lot of things that I can eat. So I have had pasta, and I have had bread, and I have had pita chips, which are one of my favorite foods ever. So I've really been enjoying having more things that I can eat with being able to have wheat now. So that is great news, and also good news for hopefully being able to continue to try more things, and hopefully Daniel, as his gut has matured, will be able to eat even more things. The other thing too that I have not given an update on in a while is, or I haven't talked about in a while, is I am still playing Tears of the Kingdom. That has been one of my, like, it's on my habit tracker. I'm trying to play for like 20 minutes a day. That's like the one thing that I can usually find is like, this is time for totally myself, that I'm being totally non-productive. And so I am really enjoying it. It is such a good game. I think I've talked about this before, that Breath of the Wild was the game that like got me back into playing video games. And I'm not like a super hardcore gamer. I don't have time to do a lot of video gaming, but it's something that I really enjoy. And so I've been loving playing Tears of the Kingdom, but it is such a big game. And I mean, I had it pre-ordered. I got it the day that it came out, but I feel like it's going to take me, especially at the rate that I'm going, which is playing like 20 minutes most days, it's going to take me a long time to finish this game. There is just so much to do. And I feel like if there's anybody else out there that plays it, it's like you're like, oh, I'm going to do this thing. And then you end up doing like 15 other things first. And it's like 2 weeks later that you're like, oh yeah, I was going to go do that thing over there. So it is a really fun game. And that's been a really good like form of, I hesitate to say self-care, but I don't know, like my me time that I look forward to and then I'm able to get in. So this is how my week turned out. I think this is a really cute and functional spread, and I hope that you enjoyed this video. I'll see you all again soon. Bye everyone.